guys, I'm Laura Vitale, and on this episode of Laura in the Kitchen, I am bursting at the seam with excitement because I'm going to show you how to make Nutella Semifreddo. Semifreddo is an Italian take on an ice cream. It means semi-frozen. It's very easy, no ice cream machine required, addictive on a new level. I'm not even kidding you. It's velvety, it's sweet, and it's so easy to make. Requires just a handful of ingredients, and it is spot on and an absolute delight every time we make it. And every time I make it for people, it is the dessert of the season that people can't get enough of. So it's easy, and I love that. And the ingredients are very few, and it just outstanding. You'll need egg yolks, granulated sugar, vanilla bean paste, or you can use a vanilla bean, and Nutella, of course. And one additional ingredient is going to be some heavy cream, which I have in the fridge because I want to keep it cold as long as possible. Now let's get to doing this. Now what I have here is a big saucepan, and you want to make sure you have a bowl that's heat proof and it's big enough to sit over your pan like so. The thing that's crucial is that you don't want the bottom of your bowl to touch the simmering water. I only have about an inch of water in here, and I have that coming up to a simmer. While that happens, I'm going to add my sugar to my egg yolks along with some of my vanilla bean paste. Now if I can get this open, if you don't have Laura Vitale, there we go. If you don't have vanilla bean paste, you can always use the seeds of a vanilla bean. If you don't have vanilla bean, just use a little bit of vanilla extract. This stuff is pure magic. I love it. I can't live without it. I like to use a good 2 teaspoons of this, maybe even a little bit more. Who's counting? I'm going to take a big whisk, and I'm going to whisk this until it's really thick and pale in color. It'll take a couple of minutes, so just be patient. In the meantime, just keep your eye on your water. You want it over about medium-low heat because you want it to be at a simmer and not boil. That looks fantastic. My water's up to a simmer. I also want to point out that before you get everything started, take a 9 by 5 inch loaf pan, line it with some plastic wrap, and you want to make sure that the plastic wrap is overhanging because you're going to cover this whole thing up. And it's going to be easy to take it out. You'll see. All right, let's put this over here. And now very carefully and gently and with patience, you're going to cook this. Basically is what you're doing. You're cooking this for about 10 minutes or so, or until the custard is super, super hot, not boiling. If you're testing it with the thermometer, it should be about 160 degrees. For me, 10 minutes is the perfect time. That's how long it always takes. Just take, things are, what is that saying? Good things are worth waiting for, am I right? Put a little bit of work. It really isn't that difficult. It takes just 10 minutes here. You're babysitting it. Let's go. Get on a FaceTime call with someone and chat over some things. So just babysit this for about 10 minutes, stirring the whole time. You want to make sure the water is not boiling, otherwise it will scramble your eggs. I just took my custard off of my double boiler, and now what I'm going to do is add just a small pinch of salt. Really brings out the flavor and everything. And now I'm going to take this glorious looking custard, pass it through a fine sieve, only because just in that case that any eggs might have curdled, you don't end up, it doesn't end up in your final product, which is always a good thing if you ask me. Alright, made a mess, but it's okay. My mess to clean, right? Alright, now let's keep that aside to cool just a little bit. In the meantime, I've got some heavy whipping cream in this bowl. I'm just going to use my hand mixer to whisk it until it's got nice stiff peaks, but you don't want to turn it into butter. So keep an eye on it because it can happen really fast, but you do want this to have stiff peaks, otherwise it's not going to hold together really well. So give it a minute or two. That looks good. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take most of our custard that we made, pour that right in there. Hence I say most. Mix it in your heavy cream. So incredible. You could, if you wanted to, you don't want to freeze this, you could serve this just as is, like a nice dessert that it's not expected, but it's delicious. All right, that looks plenty good to me. Now to the remaining custard. That is so good. We're gonna add in some Nutella. How much Nutella you add is really up to you. The recipe calls for a cup. I have never in my life ever made a recipe with Nutella and put only the recommended amount. Why you would want to is beyond me, because this stuff is seriously good. All right, that looks good. Now, whisk it together just to loosen up the Nutella. That looks great. Now, quick tip. You want to make sure that your custard is cool enough before you add your Nutella in it, otherwise it can seize up, and that's not good. You have to start all over. If that happens, don't get rid of this batter. What you can do is you can just take a little bit of this and put it, into a new batch of Nutella, and you will be good to go. Now that that's done, I'm going to take the custard we started with, put that in there, get it all out of your bowl, and just smooth it out as best as you can. Now you're going to take your Nutella mixture, take spoonfuls of it all over the top, and then just take a knife and swirl everything as best as you can. You don't want to completely mix everything together, but what you're looking for is that the Nutella is going all through, and it doesn't look super appetizing at this point, but you've got to trust me when I tell you it works. And the reason why I mix Nutella with a little bit of the custard is because otherwise Nutella is too heavy and it's really hard to work with. So that looks great. Oh, that is insanely good. Cover this up, get it as flat as you possibly can. Beautiful. This is going to go into the freezer overnight. It needs to set a good 7 to 8 hours. I do mine overnight. I'm going to show you what it looks like tomorrow. I'm so excited. It's going to be so good. My Semifreddo was in the freezer overnight, and I took it out of the freezer about 10 minutes ago because with any ice cream, you always want to make sure you take it out about 10 to 15 minutes before you go ahead and serve it. Otherwise, it's super frozen and it's really hard. And I don't want that, and you shouldn't want that either. Now I've got my platter here ready. Look how easy this is. You just unfold the very top, pull it right out. Oh, beautiful, beautiful sight, I tell you. Dun, dun, dun. So easy, and it's so impressive. You could top it with like chocolate curls or some toasted hazelnuts if you wanted to. Tonight, I'm not going to. I'm just going to cut a piece of it so that you can kind of see. Look at that. Ooh. What I love is that the Nutella mixture kind of freezes at a different texture than the vanilla. It's like a little crunchy in your mouth, so it's almost like having chocolate pieces in your mouth. So if you ever had stracciatella ice cream or gelato, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like a delicious vanilla ice cream with these bits and pieces of chocolate running through it that are nice and crisp. The Nutella kind of gives you that same effect. It's delicious, which, see, kind of hardens in a different texture. So good. You'll wonder why you've never made this recipe before. Easier than pie. Personally, I like it better than regular ice cream. Nutella, it's a match made in heaven. Head on over to laurainthekitchen.com to get the recipe. I hope you enjoy it as much as we do around here. And as always, I hope you enjoy spending time with me. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.